This is the sequence that we would follow. When we put ourselves into our bed at night, we would acknowledge that while I sleep tonight, momentum is going to subside. And so I have a really good opportunity when I first awaken in the morning to set the direction and the tone of my momentum as I choose to. And we would ponder that a little bit before we go to sleep, just to make sure that there's a vibration that's there and something that when you awaken in the morning, you may find it more easily. Then when we awaken, we would stay right where we are for a few moments, and we would acknowledge, I've awakened into a new day. And this day is all about new vibrations, new experiences, new alignment. And then we would tend to our immediate needs, and then we would sit to meditate. And as we meditate, we would quiet our thoughts, which means we would stop all resistant thought, and then our vibration would rise to the frequency of our inner being. And then when we receive that thought, which undoubtedly will come, especially in time, then we would follow the impulse of that thought. If you come out of meditation and it doesn't feel to you that you have yet received any sort of download, we would sit with a journal and a pen, something that's comfortable to be with, and we would just write a few lines of appreciation about subjects that come easily to us, not some problem that we're trying to solve, but things that are very easy to feel good about. It's a little bit like priming the pump, but in this case, the pump has already been primed. Now, you know the story that we often are telling you about getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. So let's talk about this. When you went to bed that night, you got ready to be ready. You said, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to rest well. A sort of segment intending that you're offering. And while I slumber, my momentum will subside, which means when I awaken in the morning, I can set my tone the way I intend to. And then when you awaken in the morning, since you were ready to be ready now, because you've left that vibration right there, it's there for you in your quieted mind. It's the logical thing that you would pick up on. Now the thought about meditating just comes easily to you. You don't think something like, oh, I don't do well at this, or I haven't done this before, or I'm not very good at this, or even I don't have time for this, because you got ready to be ready for it. So now you're ready for it. And when you're ready for something and you sit to experience it, isn't it better when you're ready for it? So you're ready for it. So now you sit to meditate. Now, this meditation will be better than any meditation that you've had previously because you got ready to be ready for it. In other words, you got ready the night before. You got ready when you awakened. Now you're ready for it. Now you're meditating. Now this meditation is more successful by what we are expressing here to be a successful meditation than ever before because you got ready to be ready to be ready for it. And so now you've got some momentum going. So now you're meditating and now you feel that detached state and you're tempted to congratulate yourself a little bit about finding it, but you don't want to get too heady about this. And so you bring your thoughts to a quieted place and you just feel satisfaction that you can feel that you're ready for it. And then you actually enjoy that sensation of quieted mind. You enjoy that sensation of communion with source energy. You enjoy that sensation of every cell of your body receiving the benefit of non-physical energy flowing to you and through you. You might even experience a little motion here and there. You might feel some twitches and itches in your body as this energy that's flowing to you and through you is finding some maybe little pieces of resistance in your physical apparatus and is sort of working through them. And you're feeling the satisfaction of knowing that that is happening. Esther remembers coming out of a meditation like that and acknowledging it was like getting the massage from the inside out. It was like getting Reiki from the inside out. It was like the non-physical energies that really know me best flowing to me in the most precise and tender and loving and appropriate way. No worry about am I being electrocuted or no worry about something going wrong. Just complete satisfaction and confidence in the perfection of me being willing to give myself over to this energy of love and of infinite wisdom. And so oh, you got ready to be ready to be ready, didn't you? And so now here you are. And so now you're coming out of meditation and you have this thought about something. It might be a new thought that you haven't thought before. Unlikely. it most likely will be a thought about something that you've thought about before, but you'll have a different feeling about it. And so then we would follow that impulse. We would let our day be a day of doing our best to follow that impulse. And so ready to be ready to be ready. Now you have to know, your inner being knows what you are committed to today. Your inner being knows if you have children to feed, or if you have a work responsibility to go to, or if you have a deadline that you've made a previous commitment about. Your inner being is not, now that they've got you in this state of communication, going to lead you astray to be whimsical and irresponsible. Your inner being knows full well what you are set out to accomplish today, and also knows what's in your vortex that can be worked in and around and among all of the other things that you're about. Are you following? This sort of inspiration is not going to take you to some place that you don't want to be. It's going to take you into deeper, fuller, more satisfying experience with all of the people that you're already lined up to be with that day. Ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And so now let's say that you're further into the day, and now this readiness is beginning to peter out just a little bit, because now the responsibilities and the details and the actions and the habits of action and the habits of thought of your normal day are beginning to dominate just a little bit more. You had a pretty good thing going for a while. And so now you're maybe bumping into some things. That's the point that we would say consciously to ourselves, I am doing extremely well, and tomorrow I will begin this again. We would not try to hold ourselves rigidly to something that is not flowing easily. And that's something that if you heard it, you heard for the first time, and if you really heard it, will give you a lot of relief through the day. Because oftentimes you hold yourselves to standards that your energy stream doesn't support. And there is nothing that will make you not trust the energy stream sooner or faster than to try to utilize an energy stream that you're not connected to accomplish things, because it just won't work. Being ready to be 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 ready keeps that, what Esther calls the magic, flowing. In other words, she can feel it. She can feel the way it feels when she's driving her car. She can feel it the way it feels when she's moving in and out of traffic. She can feel the way it feels as she encounters person after person after person after person. But sometimes you encounter something where you focus in a way that you detach from that stream. Let that be all right. Don't try to force it or fake it. Let that be all right. And at that point, we would say to ourselves, to our physical being, this was good, and tomorrow I'll have another really good run at this. And what happens, because all of these things are progressive, in other words, meditation is a progressive thing. Your sensitivity to this inner energy is a progressive thing. It becomes more and more familiar, easier to detect, easier to tune into, easier to sustain, easier to recognize, easier to experience, easier to just let flow. You hear people talk about go with the flow. That's what we're talking about. A lot of times when people say go with the flow, they mean go with the flow of the human dynamics. That's never what we mean. We always mean go with the flow that your inner being has designed for you, knowing everything that you've got going in your life, and given what's in your vortex, going with that flow of intention, being ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. Why would anyone ever want to just stumble into a day and not have the benefit of all of these resources that are all lined up for you? Oh, when you start acknowledging that that energy is there for you, that that knowledge is there for you, you begin to feel invincible. You begin to feel all-knowing about things that pertain to you. You might even be bossy with others, but don't be, because your wisdom really stops with you. It's not about others. Esther said to someone the other day, she says, I'll do me and you do you. And what she meant was, I'll meditate and I'll hook in, and you meditate and you hook in, but I'm not looking to you for my own guidance, you see. And the other person didn't take it very well, because going with the flow means do what I want you to do is what most people think, but it's not what we mean. We talk about how my point of attraction can extend in a beneficial way to others. If you hold someone else as your object of attention, and they are suffering, but you don't let yourself follow the track of their suffering. You're not watching the news so much that is affecting your vibration. You're watching it enough that you have awareness of a problem, or enough that you feel a big question within you. But that question isn't the dominant vibration within you. A solution is the dominant vibration within you. And you are, in a sense, projecting yourself vibrationally to that place. Then can you be of value to them? And the answer is yes, but you must be aware that it takes very keen awareness of your own alignment before you are good at that. When you focus upon a problem, before you are fully a part of the energy solution, you become part of the problem instead of part of the solution. And so that's why we wouldn't spend a lot of time trying to talk people out of their discomfort, because usually, especially if there are more of them, they will talk you into their discomfort rather than you talking them out of it. Because still, for most people, what they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch is still dominant in their vibration. And what we were talking about with you just now is how you can bring yourself to a place that what is already manifested isn't the reason for the dominance in your vibration. Your alignment is the reason for it. What's in the vortex is the reason for it. How is anyone going to go beyond what is if they've only got their eyes upon what is? Humans have an inordinate amount of their attention upon the problem, and not nearly enough of their attention upon the vibrational frequencies of solution, you see. And so you say, how can I help those who don't understand about Abraham, don't understand about law of attraction, who don't understand, who haven't practiced vibration, who haven't meditated, who don't know for sure that they're in alignment with the energy? How can I help them know what alignment feels like? And we say, you can't. You can just know that they can know, and know that at one time you didn't know, and know that at one time there were a lot of people standing in the same physical shoes that they are, and knowing that it gets better and better and better, and that with knowledge about these universal laws, there is more control of your own vibration, of your own point of attraction. One who connects with this energy of well-being and holds others as object of attention always helps. It always helps. But we want to remind you that the source within you is already doing that. And so the answer is right here, right on the tip of your mind. If source energy has always been flowing to all of them, then what difference can you make? You can demonstrate what the receiving mode is. So how do you demonstrate what the receiving mode is? You turn away from problems. You don't encourage them or exaggerate them. You talk mostly about solution. You look for things that feel good. You bask more. You appreciate more. You meditate always. You tune up. You're aware of your emotions. You tune in deliberately and intentionally. Demonstrate what receiving is. That's how you help the world. Because everyone is being blessed with the energy that helps. They've just got to figure out how to let it in, and you cannot let it in for them. You can only let it in for you. Now, we think if we were standing in your physical shoes, that would be nice to know. And often in your alignment, you'll be inspired to give. You'll be inspired to send money. You'll be inspired to go maybe bail out some water. You'll be inspired to things that will help. But this deep question that you're asking about, that how do I teach someone to know source? Can I say enough words about it? Or do they have to have the experience of not feeling it and then feeling it to know the difference? How do I teach someone what clarity feels like? Can I be clear enough that they feel my clarity? Can I be so clear that I can just radiate clarity into their brain? No. It can just be clear, steadily clear, steadily clear, steady, 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 steady. Demonstrating it steadily, steadily. Steadily, not through the words, but through the feel of your words, not through the words, but through the tone of the words, because you can't fake it. You got to be there. And so for those like this gathering who care so much about others, who are born uplifters, you just got to do it for yourself first, and then it just oozes out of you.